My name is Kala, Arvind Kala. Death has 100 faces, and I'll mention some of these faces in the course of this video. Now, one reality is that for every one of us who's alive, 14 people have lived and died. Today, the world's population is 7-8 billion people, B for Bombay, but 100 billion people have lived and died. Now, that's one thing. Now, another thing about death is that when a person dies, he never reappears. You never see him again. He's buried, he's cremated, or he's fed to vultures, as it happens with the Parsis. But you never see him again. But in earlier times, and even in ancient times, superstitious relatives were so scared that the dead man would reappear that they would weigh down his burial site with a stone so that the bloody fool doesn't come out again. Now that's one thing. Now I'll jump to the Mahabharata. It has a tale about death. Yudhishthir at the fag end of the Mahabharata is at the gates of heaven, and with him is a dog. And God appears and he asks Yudhishthir, and he tells Yudhishthir, hey, if you have to get into heaven, that dog can't come in. So Yudhishthir says, if the dog has to stay out, I'll stay out also. Impressed, God asks him a question. He says, Yudhishthir, what is the greatest wonder of the world? And Yudhishthir answers, the greatest wonder of the world is, though we see people dying around us, we don't think we'll be one of them. How true that is. Every day 35,000 people die in India, but we don't think we'll be one of them. And that is the reality. We shut that possibility out. Death is something that happens to other people, not to you. Now I see this a little bit in funerals. When you grow old, you tend to attend more funerals than what you did when you were young. And the dead person invariably is a brother or a sister or a friend or a cousin or an office mate of an office colleague or an in-law of your age, whatever, because and when I see these mourners, they're in their 70s, 80s, whatever, sometimes 90. Now, all those mourners are conflicted by two emotions. One is profound grief at the passing away of whoever is dead. The second emotion is one of profound relief. Profound relief, and because each mourner thinks, thank God that dead man is not attending my funeral. So there's a profound sense of relief. Now another thing is that, now I'll jump to Shakespeare. Shakespeare summed up life. Our lives are so brief. He summed it up in 4 words. Out, brief candle. Like a candle just gets extinguished on its own when the wax goes. He describes life as out, brief candle. And this thing about life is out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That's what Shakespeare meant, that profound guy. That, we come and go and we attach a whole lot of importance to our lives. And nobody ever remembers us. In fact, sometimes I think, do you ever want to be remembered? If you want to be remembered, do one thing. 40 of your closest friends, relatives, etc., loan them 10,000 each at the fag end of your life. Borrow 10,000 from each one of them, and then die. And then you see you'll never be forgotten, because every second day that guy will tell his wife or something, that bloody fool Arvind Kala, he borrowed 10,000 from me and popped off. So his wife will nag him, ask the widow, ask the widow. So then the friend will say, nahi, that'll look too cheap. No, ask her. So, finally the fellow, nagged beyond endurance. He will pull a fast one to the wife, I asked her and she said fuck off and all that, something like that. Now, about death. Another thing is that I've seen one thing, that nobody is missed. When I said nobody is missed, you look at widows. Usually men die before their wives do, and you look at those widows, and there's suddenly, there's a refulgence in their faces. Their faces become pretty good. Yeah, they look. That's why there's that phrase, "merry widow." In fact, when I see all these widows, sometimes I think if their dead husbands would reappear, the widows would throw stones at them. Not big stones, but small stones certainly. And about death, another thing is there's something that we shut out of our lives. Actually, when children are grown up, grown up meaning when they become 40, 45, 50, 55, etc., they actually wish for their parents' death. They wish for it unconsciously or subconsciously, whatever. It is there. It is there, I know, because they profit in two ways. When the parents pass away, they profit in two ways. One is then, when the grown up children's own parents are 80, 85, the parents become old and infirm, and then the looking after those parents become the grown up children's responsibilities. That is, so when parents pass away, the grown up children, it's a sense of relief, because they don't have to, there's a big burden lifted from their shoulders. The second thing is that they benefit financially. I remember I benefited when my dad died. I benefited again when my mom died. So why would my daughter not benefit when I die and my wife die? So that way, I'm practical, because I read enough, I think enough, so I'm involved in that sense, and I wouldn't hold it against a grown-up person for wanting a parent to pass away. That's a part of evolution. When your own children have grown-up children, etc., their attention shifts from the parents, their interest in parents diminishes, and it grows in children. And the only consolation for those old parents who know all this is that their grown-up children who are looking forward to their death, their children will also look forward to their parents going. So it's a part of evolution, and so be it. Que sara sara, what there is, there is. So this is what it is, and. These are the thoughts I wanted to express about death very briefly. Well, friends, just do one thing. Subscribe to this channel if you can, and if you like this video, please forward it to everybody you know. Just tell people that I'm a goddamn genius, yeah? And if you tell them that, I'll be your slave for the rest of my life. Okay, adios, man. See you later, alligator.